It's the family plot. Come and see what we got. If you like mystery and fantasy, then this is the spot. It's the family plot. Come and see what we got. Follow on Instagram and YouTube and even TikTok.
All right. We are back. First week of Kingdom of the Cursed, picked by Mom. Woo! Go, Mom! All right, let's get into it. All right, so in the sometime before portion and chapters 1 through 8, the story follows Amelia, a young witch who has pledged herself to Prince Pride of Hell to break a curse and avenge her sister's death. However, she is escorted to the underworld by Wrath, another Prince of Hell, who complicates her journey with his cryptic behavior, fierce protectiveness, and magnetic pull. Upon arrival in the icy realm of hell, Amelia is forced to confront her own powerful emotions as she traverses in the Sin Corridor, an intense magical test to determine her true alignment. Wrath insists he no longer owes her anything, yet he continues to care for and protect her. Amid growing tension, Amelia begins to unravel ancient secrets about her family's past, a devil's curse, and the mysterious purpose behind the witch murders of the previous book. As visions, enchanted skulls, and cryptic warnings mount, Amelia questions who she can trust and whether her fate has already been sealed by forces beyond her comprehension. Her attraction to Wrath grows, but so does her need to control her emotions, survive court politics, and uncover the truth about her powers, her family, and the devil himself. All right. Of course, we got to do it. First impressions. I done told y'all, Amelia Maria DiCarlo has pissed me off. And I cannot stop saying her full government name because I don't need to be no confusion about my feelings toward this woman. The Sin Corridor, where I told her it was gonna be intense, it was gonna be a lot of emotions, and at every turn, she's overcome by this wrath, for lack of a different phrase, and just such a brat the entire time. And I'm just like, girl, he's helping you on this journey. And you still hung up on the fact that he had to collect your soul to get you down here. But baby, you wanted to be down here to avenge your sister's murder. What's the problem? Help me understand. Um, Apart from that, in a way, I just feel like, man, he could have just left her there. He could have left her at the gates and then just went on about his little demon life. But yeah, she just seemed very ungrateful to me. And that I yield. Um, Mother, first impressions, please.
I had three.
Come with it.
Number one, why in the hell is hell freezing and not hot? Because she down here cold as all get out. They talking about the wind. The fact that the trees why is there trees in hell and supposed to be hot? Okay. First thing, because they should be burnt. But anyway, so and it's so cold that the stuff is you got to shake ice off of it. What is that? What is that? Okay. But that's my first thing. I was like, well, okay, so much for the hot hell. And then second, Wrath. Well, he was calling her witch before. I said he was calling her witch, but treating her like wifey. Right now, he acting like he aggravated with wifey. I'm just saying. He like, I'm so, girl, you pissing me off to the highest level of festivity. And I understand, because my third thing is Amelia need to pick a goddamn gonna struggle. For real. We know we know you had feelings that you don't want to allude to, because you didn't promise yourself to his brother. But then why are you treating him like dirt and he trying to help you out? But you down here, you mad at him because he brought you down here, but you volunteered to come down here. I need you to figure out what your real struggle is, because it ain't him. Him didn't do it, because all of this stuff started because you summoned him in the first place. So I need you to pick a struggle, because you didn't summon pride. You didn't summon none of the other sins. You summoned wrath. So why are you mad at the person you called? I pick a struggle, boo-boo. Pick a struggle. And with that, I yield.
Amen and amen again. Pick a struggle, ma'am. I also was surprised that hell wasn't hot, but Wrath did mention something about how humans, like the tales human tells themselves are just not true. And for what we understand hell to be, he did mention too that there was a hell of humans' own making, where most of them don't even make it through the sin corridor. I thought that was a very interesting way to write hell. So for all we know, those people who didn't make it through the sin corridor could actually be living in that hot burning hell. We'll never know.
Well, he talked about them creating their own narrative, and that's what keeps them outside of the actual
Right.
hell. So yeah.
He also, sorry.
Go ahead.
He also mentioned that the temperature level was directly related to the power level of the prince in question. That the higher level of power, the colder the environment. He mentioned that when he brought her to the room.
Ooh, child. That's some power. Power, Lord. Power. Oh man. Yeah. Pick a struggle, babe. Pick a struggle. Glenna, first impressions.
Definitely levels of frustration with her activities and getting a little irritated with him, but I think he's just being him, as I was telling Cam earlier. But I had a thought, and it's kind of been tapping at the back of my brain with the way he's acting towards her, but also reacting with her and things, and the way he talks to her and talks about her to others. I'm wondering if, regardless of the contract she signed, if she still has a choice. And his kindness means that she might still have the ability to choose him. Like, she signed this contract, but if her nature is aligned with him, because he seems to be needling at her to get her angry, especially while she was in the sin corridor. And the sin corridor, basically, when you get to the other side of it, where your strengths or where your emotions were is what house you were aligned with. And I'm wondering if he's not angling her alignment with his house.
Ooh-wee.
So that's currently setting in the back of my brain.
It definitely would be on brand as a Prince of War and strategy, right? I mean, also as someone who we know is in love with this girl, like, yeah, I want you to be in my house. How to do that? Get you mad. And then, honestly, Glenna, I'm glad you brought that up, because it also kind of puts forth that's he mentioned something about like passion and anger having like the same base emotion or something. I know I'm saying it wrong, but
passion and hate are two sides of the same coin, essentially.
Yes, thank you. So that makes even more sense why he would want that type of result coming from the woman he loves. Cam, first impressions, please.
This book turned very adult very fast. And when he told her that you go through the trials and the sin corridor has a way of heightening emotions that you feel, lust hit her real extra hard while I was driving. In a storm, actually.
Oh, I forgot y'all are listening to the audio version.
Partially.
But I'm actually doing both. Like when I'm just in the car, I'm just listening. But if I'm listening to it and I'm sitting, I got the book with me, so I'm reading along. But I was jaw on the flow, driving extra slow because it was storming outside, and lust hit her like a truck hitting a person in the middle of the road. And she flew up in the air and did some tumbles and landed on the street and rolled some more. It was a lot. Now, couple things here. Back to Glenna's point about the colder it gets colder, the more power you have and all these things. I would like to refer all of you to the map.
Come on, map. Come
Don't
on.
have I do. Here we are.
Well, we know he got the biggest house. He got the most power. That must be why she's freezing to death.
I would like to say that I brought this up at the end of the last book, and I believe that I am correct.
Would you be able to screenshot that and send that as a text?
Absolutely. Do it right now. So there was that. That was another point that I had. About him needling her towards anger.
Yeah.
I don't think he has to.
Fair.
Because she's already angry. And there just happens to be moments here, there, where it just be a little tiny spark and she go from 0 to 100 over something completely minute.
Yeah.
So I don't think he's like intentionally gunning for her. Like you said, he's being himself. There's nothing in his personality that has changed from the time that she gave her that contract versus them entering the sand corridor. There's nothing in his personality that has changed. However, her emotions toward him have changed. So I don't think it matters what he does at this point. She's just mad. And because this is a feeling that she's having while in the sand corridor, it's going to be exacerbated. But then it also is potentially foreshadowing us towards who she's going to naturally align with.
Mm-hmm.
Because for the entirety of the first book, after Victoria got killed, she was angry. And when you're summoning a demon, I believe in the first book it said the one that you summon is the one closely aligned to how you feel. She summoned the demon of war. She had a very vengeful spirit. She was angry. Ain't nothing changed. And then she summoned him wrong. Oh, there's not much that has changed. Only thing that has changed is that she signed a little piece of paper with pride on it versus wrath. And she was mad about that too. So she's had this string of just, I'm gonna be mad here, be mad there, be mad everywhere. I'm just pissed off. And being that she's still a child, essentially, 18 still says teen on the end. She's still making dumb kid decisions.
Yep.
And as a dumb kid has no control over her emotions. Because this is a time where therapy does not exist.
But it should.
It should, but it doesn't. So because she doesn't have another outlet, she's just getting all of her anger out on the person in front of her, and that just so happens to be Wrath, who is also the subject of said anger.
Who she summoned.
And I yield.
Girl.
Excellent points.
Thank you.
Yes, wonderful points. And you're right. She been mad. She been big mad. But you know what? Her anger makes me angry.
because
It
she put it on herself.
Because it's not righteous anger. It's not, it's it just gives this entitlement. I don't know. I don't know if that's the right word.
It is.
Glenna, I see you had a hand raised. Oh, you're on mute.
Brat.
Yes. She's acting like a brat. And that's what's got me like, shut up. Yes. Life's not fair. Your sister's dead. You're in hell. Okay. And move forward, ma'am. Move forward. Keep your focus on your goals. If you gonna come down here and mess some stuff up and get your vengeance, do that. Don't be out here, shivering in your skivvies and being all conflicted about whether or not you actually, just hush. Just hush. Anywho.
You gotta remember she mad and horny. So she a child. So she got stuff to deal with.
That's true. And you're right, Cam. It did turn very adult very fast.
And it ain't slowing down. It's just
At all.
it's smack in the face if I ever felt one.
I
I found
a few times.
I found a notation that said that book 1 is considered YA, while the second and third are now considered new adult.
Oh. Well, alrighty then.
I don't think I've
But
ever
we're
come.
definitely in the adulting now.
It's apparently a newer classification, but they don't separate them out, especially considering they're a series.
Wow.
Which
That's
is why
what's
they're all sold in the young adult section of the
yeah.
bookstore, which they do not belong there at all.
No, it's very interesting to me because the other box set that I have of hers is young adult all the way through. Like there's not even like a nuance of sexual anything in those other books. And that's a 4-book series. So to go and write one book in one genre and then in the same series switch genres, that's new for me.
Yeah, I've not encountered it before either, but yeah, I don't think I think they're by publisher standards still all considered YA because the first one is YA, but by almost everybody in reviews is going, this is new adult, this is new adult, this is new adult, which is basically, from what I've managed to gather, it's more the like 18 to like 25 range. So we're starting to get into the more sexual stuff, but it's not like full on dark romance kind of genre.
It's not lights out.
No.
All right, ladies.
It was interesting to learn that kind of dividing line, but it's interesting to me that they're all, instead of pulling the one out of that section into the adult fantasy section, they left them all there.
Yeah.
I didn't even know
you just piqued my interest for book 3 if nobody else did.
I'm right. Yeah, categories and all this wonderful newness.
That'll help me with my rating at the end, though.
That's true. That's very true.
All right, well, let's go on to the
all right, who ready for some discussion questions?
I have sent the map to everybody, so everybody should have it.
Awesome. All right, we have Welcome to Hell, Wrath's Motivations, Amelia's Emotions, The Skull's Messages, Tension Much, and Uncovering Hidden Truths. Glenna, I'm gonna switch it up. Why don't you go first?
Wrath's Motivations.
Wrath's Motivations. Wrath often helps Amelia while claiming he owes her nothing. What do you think motivates his actions? Is he trustworthy or playing a deeper game?
I think like a lot of things in this world, especially now that we're no longer on the human plane, I think that every motivation is, for lack of a better term, political. Everything is about power in hell. So who holds the power holds the reins, so to speak. Even when they were talking about the feast that they were talking about, whoever the most powerful prince that's going to hold a party is where everybody goes. So people hold off offering invites until they see who's going to offer an invite, because they don't want to be the, oh, well, I've offered you an invite. Well, we're all going over here because Pride decided to hold the feast versus Lust holding the feast or him holding the feast. And he specifically said that he wouldn't announce whether he was holding a feast or not until he found out whether Pride was, because every nuance is political. So I think ultimately, like all of them, he covets power and he covets her power. So I think that is the motivation for his actions. Is he attracted to her? Yes. Do I think he's in love with her? That's where I disagree with you, Angel. I don't think he's in love with her. At least not at this point. If they end up together and they grow, yeah, maybe that could happen. But I don't think they've known each other long enough to be able to have that deep of an emotional bond yet. Lust, absolutely. Do I think he's found a kindred spirit to somebody who's quick to anger and responds to every little nuance handed to her as if it's, something that has, angered her? Yeah. So I think he's found a kindred spirit. I think he's playing the long game. I think that my thoughts that, he may still be able to covet and grow with her. Yeah. Because they never talk about their betrothal being disillusioned. They've never stated that has ended. So technically, in theory, she's betrothed to both brothers. Because she was betrothed to him first before she became betrothed to Pride. So even though she signed a contract, she kind of signed a verbal contract with him when she summoned him the way she summoned him. So they might have equal claim. And this might just be an odds game as to who she yields towards. Cam?
But is it?
What is this?
It's tea. Tea clock tea. But is it just a verbal? If there's a physical representation of it on her body.
Okay, I retract the word verbal and go with magical contract.
Okay. Just wondering.
Which, no, I agree. I was meaning verbal as in it was part of the summoning and not necessarily written on paper.
Okay.
So, they have a magical contract. So there's a magical contract that was done during the summoning, but you have a magical signed in blood contract with Pride. Which one holds more weight? Is it the one that was done first, the one that was done in blood, or is it the one she ultimately chooses? So I think he's playing the long game. I think that's the reason why he randomly kisses her on the way to the dinner. I think that's the way he's lavishing her with anything she could possibly need without being asked. There's all these clothes that are suddenly her size. I think the moment he dressed her in the mortal world, he immediately had seamstresses working in his world to make sure she had everything she'd needed when she'd go down. So, and the placement of her room in the palace that they're in. She's not in a guest room. She's across the hall from him. Back in the day when people were married and they were arranged marriages where they didn't reside in the same rooms, the master's suite and the ladies' suite, it would not surprise me if those two rooms are conjoined by a door.
Look, if she don't want the room, I'll happily take it.
Hello.
Same.
Hello.
I want that bathroom.
Yes, because the way that description was written of that bathroom, the whole suite, the lounging area, the sunken tub, all the decor, girl, yes, a million times yes. Glenna, so you mentioned that, you know, he may not be in love with her. And I can see that. If that is the case, I can then see why Amelia is so easily angered, because you giving mixed signals. You saying you ain't gonna do nothing for me, and then you doing all this stuff for me. If you don't want me, then don't talk to me. Like, that's where I'm at.
Go ahead and free yourself.
Go ahead and free yourself. No, seriously. If that is the case, I mean, no one wants to be jerked around. No one wants to, first of all, have passionate feelings for a demon and then be in the weeds on whether or not those feelings are reciprocated, because you're saying one thing and you're doing something. How the songwriter said, you're telling me this and telling me that. Like, come on.
Practice what you preach.
Practice what you preach, Raph. Practice what you preach. If you don't like this girl, you can't stand this girl, don't be doing nice stuff. Let her do her thing. But also, Glenna, I understand if he is in fact playing the long game, I'm curious to know how much of these nice things are a part of that game and to an end.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful points made. Ladies, anything else in response to Glenna on this before we move on?
You clock T.
Thank you.
Yes, you did in fact clock the T. Thank you, Glenna. All right. Mother, what will it be? You're on mute, Mom.
I thought we were switching around, so I thought I was going after Cam.
Oh.
But okay, I'll go. Let's see. Amelia's emotions.
Amelia's emotions. Amelia is
Than
one.
I ever dreamed of. Okay, sorry.
Amelia's warned to suppress emotions like anger, envy, and desire while in hell. How did these emotions affect her interactions? And what do these emotions reveal about the power dynamics in this world?
Girl. Well, number one, these emotions, because she's in the sin corridor, come up very easily because she did not heed Wrath's warnings and suppress them. So stuff comes up, comes out, or you know how they say don't wear your emotions on your shoulder, don't wear your emotions on your shoulder. She wears hers there. And it's very obvious. But in doing so, this also triggers her anger, which is problematic because every time because right now the only person she really is encountering is Wrath. So you are feeding into this same sin that has had, this is what got him to you in the first place. This is your emotion. And every time you realize you are under you've undergone another emotion that you could not suppress for whatever reason, it angers her, which also feeds into her wrath, which is why she is so heavily connected with him. And even in that, she's angry. So it makes for a difficult it makes for difficult communication, a difficult dynamic, because he told her up front, the power dynamics in that world, the goal, you will most align yourself or best align yourself with the emotion you carry the strongest. And she keeps validating that she's full of wrath. She's full of anger. Question, Cam?
Just a comment.
Okay, go ahead, girl.
All of this has come about because these twins don't heed warnings. They are not warning heeders.
They hard-headed.
Hey,
You know,
there.
we know.
So this ain't nothing new. She
Nothing at
don't need nothing.
This ain't nothing new under the sun. You know, it used to be when you had a set of twins, you would have one that was good, made good decisions, one maybe. No, they, you know what? Victoria was fueled by curiosity, and this one was lackadaisical. And this one, now that Victoria's gone, she took on all of that. Not only is she curious, but she curious and mad. So she curious, mad, horny. She got all of them. She got all the skills they is to have. She got them.
All the things.
All the things. And the reality is, she mad that she got them. Well, you know what? If you stop playing with the emotions and just if she would let the anger go, all this other stuff would subside. But she ain't gonna do that because she out for revenge. And you know, when people are out for revenge, they see nothing but red. And I don't care whatever come their way. That's everything. If it ain't dealing with me trying to get this revenge, I don't want to deal with it. It's pissing me off even more. Get out my way. I'm tunnel vision. And that's where she was when she started on this journey, which is why we're here now. But that doesn't take away those other things. And that's why I said when she realized she lost a moment to envy or to desire, it ticks her off because it shows a weakness in her, and she don't want the demons to see her weakness. Go ahead, Glenn. You had a question.
While I will admit that not everybody has the ability to learn these skills, I think we also need to acknowledge the fact that she is still a child. Now, they never actually state her age. Based on context clues, my guess is she's somewhere between 17 and 19.
I agree.
Yeah, same. Mm-hmm.
Mainly because in these books, they don't tend to go below the age of consent, and age and consent in Europe is between 16 and 17. So I'd put her probably 18 or 19, technically.
I agree.
No, they said she was 18 because
they did?
In the prologue, she was 8, and then in chapter 1, it was 10 years later.
10 years later. Yeah,
Okay.
it was.
I forgot about that part. Sorry about that. But still, even without that, the context clues give you the range between 17 and 19 based on the context clues. We don't normally learn unless you've experienced serious trauma in your youth, you don't typically have the ability to put a stopper on your emotions.
I agree.
Unless you're forced to learn how to do that.
My biggest go ahead. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I almost laughed my head off when he told her, you need to suppress your emotions. First off, every evidence from the last book said that wasn't going to happen.
Not at all.
And the thought that she could was laughable. But she's not experienced enough in life to be able to, as you learn that, oh, this person in my daily life at work, I know based on the attitude of the person walking up to the counter whether they're going to have a tantrum or not. And so sometimes I have to pull my emotions back into myself, but that's something I learned as I aged. She's not there yet. So the thought that she was going to harness her own emotions while going through this corridor was laughable.
I think
that's my impression on that.
I think for me, the struggle, as any reader probably would get from this, is that while she is a young adult, preteen, well, not preteen, but she's a teenager going into adulthood, the writer has her highly intelligent with good reasoning skills for the most part when it comes to things that she's trying to weigh out and be meticulous about and strategize about or what she's trying to get accomplished. But then she also is very, like you say, immature in terms of emotion. So she can think through a problem and how she's going to analyze it, how she's going to attack it, how she's going to navigate this next step she's getting ready to do very meticulously. but then turn right around and give in to her emotions. So this is why we know she's a preteen, but that's also part of the reason she's going to continue to struggle. because the moment you feel like, okay, she got her head on straight, she got it, she getting herself together, and she's strategizing again, she's being real specific about what she's saying, she's and in her right, she, like I said, when I say she's intelligent, she's recognized you have to be cunning. There's certain things you can and cannot say when you're talking to a demon. She's real specific about the questions she's asking, or whether or not she's actually asking a question and just summoning a response. So she's real meticulous in what she's doing, which lets you know she's highly intelligent. But even no matter how intelligent you are, it just goes to show, like you say, if you have not grown into a maturity, you still will fall subject to your emotions, which is why there's so many highs and lows in here with her. Because one moment I'm just like, oh yeah, she got it together, here she goes, she good. The next minute I'm like, this chick then fell off the wagon again because she can't control horny, or she can't control anger, or here she go being mad again. It's like the minute you on the straight and narrow, you didn't fall. It's like alcoholic. Girl, you doing so good. You got that 2-year coin, and then somebody then gave you a wine cooler, and here we go again. It's just that kind of, and it's something really small and minute. She fall right back off, and then she got to build back up again. It's like this yo-yo. But I mean, that's one of the good things about this. It gives you that hope that, okay, maybe this time she get a little bit further. Maybe this time she get a little bit better. Maybe this time, that's where I am. So with her,
are you yielding?
Yeah, I was feeling ready to yield, but I was like, that's where I was with that, because I get that she's young, I get that, but she's also so highly intelligent. That's why I think, for me as a reader, I'm looking for her to be like, girl, cut the shenanigans, get your stuff in order. You control. If you can think this far to get all this stuff in order, you target your anger, or target your horniness, or target your envy, and she ain't got there yet. So with that, I yield.
Oh my goodness.
Every time you refer to this girl's horniness, it tickles something deep in my chest.
For real.
And Angels too, because she be laughing every time I say that.
Every single time, Lord. No, I think we've all hit the nail on the head. Emotional regulation is a hell of a drug, and it's not abundant here. But I mean, it's just a parallel to our regular life, right? That it's crucial for mental and physical well-being. And I feel like what we're learning from Amelia is that even the most emotionally mature people, which Amelia's probably not, but we all got room to grow and shift and change. There's always something to improve upon. Even though she was aware enough emotionally to navigate meeting all those princes of hell in the first book, she still has areas to work on, and as we all do. So even though I wasn't giving this girl a lot of grace these first 8 chapters, I can accept that, you know what, this is character development. This is just part of the journey. All right. That said, well, I was going to call on Cam, but it looks like Cam's gone for the moment. So I'm going to pick. I'm going to do the Skull's messages. All right, so the Enchanted Skulls deliver cryptic messages. What do you make of the prophecy-like phrases such as the angel of death lives and 7 stars, 7 sins? So I think they're pretty straightforward. Angelus Mortis, the angel of death. I feel like that was referring to Wrath, because as the explanation in the book stated, you know, he's the demon of war, death, all that jazz. 7 stars, 7 sins. I think that was also pretty straightforward. 7 demon princes, 7 circles, 7 deadly sins. How might these shape Amelia's journey? I think it is the ultimate shaping of her journey. I kind of like what I just said about us all having room to grow and room to shift and room to change and develop. I think all of these sins are going to shape Amelia not just as a person, but as a ruler of hell. Because she's technically about to be queen. So her mastery of these emotions and her regulation of such is going to determine what kind of leader or ruler she will become. And with that, I yield. Hammers, what will it be?
I think this is actually the first meeting where nobody chose what I wanted to do.
What is it that you want to do?
Welcome to hell.
Hell is portrayed not as fiery, but as cold and elegant with deep political intrigue. How does this contrast with traditional depictions of hell, and what atmosphere does it create for the story?
Well, like we talked about in our first impressions, hell as we know it, or I could say as most common Western religions know it, is hot, fiery, and in some aspects can indeed be of a person's own creation, like of a person's own mind. So where it might not necessarily be hot and fiery, it could quite literally be you having to relive your sin or the worst day of your life over and over and over again for eternity. But it being cold here, that it said a couple of things for me. Because we have the interchangeable hot as hell, cold as hell. So it might look like, a regular Tuesday for somebody. But for the context of this story, I feel like, at least because we've discussed how the colder it is, the more powerful.
Oh no, I think you
So I
froze.
feel like because
Yeah, you're back.
I'm back. Okay. So I'm thinking it might have something to do with how, or like the intensity of it could be related to how she's feeling, or the two of them coinciding together, because it's already cold down there, but for her it could be colder the angrier she is, or something like that. And for me personally, hell has always been a hot, fiery place with some great depths. I always think back to the Da Vinci Code and like Dante's Inferno and the 7 levels of hell. And I think depending on who you are, it could be singular. It could like be a plain field. It could be levels to it. In the context of this story, I feel like kind of how they said on the front of the book, like revenge is a dish best served in hell. I think at this juncture of the story, we could safely say revenge is a dish best served cold, because every aspect of what's happened in this story so far, and every person that she's come across, whether it be a sin or a person living in the realm, they've come across just this cold, icy person. Because she met the girl in the library, and although she was really pretty and serene looking, she had this very icy demeanor. So it might, for the story at least, be a physical depiction of the behaviors that are displayed down there. Radar, I'm busy. Lay down. So it's, I mean, you kind of said it in the question. It is normally portrayed as fiery, but in this story is cold and elegant. Everything's super regal, and it's a very beautiful place. But it shouldn't be by all normal people accounts. Like it shouldn't be that nice. And I feel like it may also play into whatever internal battles she's going to have to face going forward, and how it's going to play into her character development. Because you can only be yourself in a place like that for so long. At some point, you're going to have to change and adapt. Because you're not going to get what you want being regular old Amelia Maria. Because she ain't got you nowhere but in hell in the first place. So at some point, being that she is the future queen of hell, she's going to have to adapt her behavior. So she herself is going to have to go from this warm, stupid person, keep putting your tongue on my book, I'm going to fight you, to this really cold, meticulous, super calculated person, because she can't run hell any other way. So I yield.
Well said, and agreed. I mean, it really ain't much else to it than that. But that said, any final thoughts, questions, predictions, anything on y'all's mind before we wrap up for today?
It's gonna be some juicy stuff going on, because the back of this book alluded to her having an or was it the synopsis page? Alluded to her. Amelia finds herself trapped between Wrath and his even more wicked brother, the Prince of Pride. We ain't came across Pride yet.
You right.
Keep reading. That's all I'm gonna say. Keep reading.
So it's gonna get juicy.
Keep reading.
Mama, what chapter did you get to?
I ain't saying. Keep reading.
You don't even want to know, Cam. You don't even...
Keep reading. That's all I
So
say.
I'm predicting juice.
Predicting juice. Well, thank you.
Juice is coming.
Okay.
Glenna, any predictions?
Pour a cup of it for you. Huh?
I'm okay. That statement has a whole different meaning now. Sorry, I'm remembering him discussing his brother's proclivities with her.
Girl.
So that could be interesting. But I feel like where I'm at right now, because I'm just a little further than where we stopped, I feel like I'm in a zone where I just need to push through, and then things will start to fall.
Push,
and
girl, push.
It's just pushing through that's sitting there that I need to work on. Because
I'm only a little further than you push through.
Okay.
It must be something about this book then, because I myself have been having a hard time pushing through these first 8 chapters. It's not that I'm, doing summaries and questions. Mentally, I'm just like, oh, girl, we just came off murders and demons and witches and we're back into it. And I don't know, maybe it's the pacing of the book so far. Maybe I was just very annoyed with Amelia just in these. I don't know, but it's
off really slow.
Okay.
Really slow.
Okay.
Once you get past like where Glenna is, you're on chapter 10, right?
Yeah.
Once you get past there, the things start thinging.
Did you?
Okay.
Great.
Because I'm at the beginning of chapter 13, so I'm only like slightly further. But them last, I had to stop myself last night. I was like, oh, okay, so this is what we doing. Let me put this down. That was me last night. I said, I can't. No, I got to go to sleep. Mm-hmm.
Got it.
Lord.
Keep reading.
That's mama's only comment. Keep reading.
Mother, without revealing too much, any questions, predictions, final thoughts you'd like to share?
I just said, because y'all tell me I read ahead too much and I be bringing up stuff so I try not to say nothing, which is why I say keep reading. Because somewhere in there, just waiting. Ain't got there yet. I don't know if it's in there or not. I'm just waiting for the knockdown drag out between Pride and Red.
The knockdown drag out is crazy.
Because let's call it what it is. You got this, Pride comes before the fall.
Period.
Point blank,
Okay.
period. But then you got Wrath, who is the Prince of War, who is gonna be warned over this chick that they both are married to. And my thing is, in the end, what Glenna said made more sense than anything I've ever thought about in this terms, is that she's betrothed to both of them. And even though we don't know what marital dynamics and all that other stuff goes on down in hell, I believe it's going to come down to her actually having to choose. But I think them brothers, because just in the mortal realm, brothers will fight over a chick. Sisters will fight over a man.
Mother.
I could say something else. But I'm saying that's the nature of the beast when it comes to relationships. So yeah, just because they demons don't mean they ain't gonna. I mean, one feeling some kind of way, the other one may need her for something else. It is what it is. I just know I'm looking forward to reading them details because Carrie, Miss Maniscalco, Cusco, whatever her last name is.
No.
What her name?
Maniscalco.
Maniscalco. I knew it was something I missed.
Girl said everything but Cusco.
I said I was missing a syllable. I acknowledge that.
We are definitely not getting monetized on YouTube.
But again, she gives details like none other. I'm scared to read that other series you read with Jack the Ripper and all them people.
Baby, just let me know when you want the first copy.
Baby, this girl gives mad details. So I'm waiting for a fight to break out with them brothers. It ain't even got to be them two brothers. It could be one of the other two demons. I just want to see. I just want to hear the details of the knockdown drag out. Because this girl she is infamous when it comes to detailed giving. That's what I say. I'm looking for the fight, girl. I'm looking for the fight. But keep reading because there's some juice coming on the way. That's all I gotta say.
I believe we have learned something new about our dear mother on this evening.
What's that?
That you just is itching for the violence.
Well, I'm so passive throughout my life. I told you the only reason I watch wrestling is so I can yell and cuss. Because is that not the purpose time to do it? I don't do that. I'm so not violent in my normal life. I was like, let's shake it up a little bit.
Yes, I normally would like to encourage more regulation in that department, so you ain't got to dig so deep into the violence and indulge in the violence of others.
But it's in a book, though. See, this is a safe way to handle violence. I can do this. Ain't nobody got to really lose no blood, and I'm okay.
Well, then I create a list for you.
Well, no, I ain't got to do all blood and guts. I get enough of that on Chicago Cops and what all that other stuff. But anyway, no, but I'm just saying, but think about it. This woman, her graphics is just stellar. She could, because even y'all said, just listening to the description of the bathroom in her suite. Girl, who wouldn't want to live there? I love it. She gives great detail. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
Mother, thank you so much for your.
You're welcome. That's what I tell you. I tell you, don't tell me to talk because I will talk.
You're great.
It's not talking. It's not the talking.
It's the details that come with the talking. Even Glenna laughing. That's okay.
You know, I'm so thankful for you.
What that teacher say? You a hoot.
I'm a hoot. I'll take that.
Well, ladies,
It's got to be one in the group. So hey,
ladies, it's you're great, Mom. You're great. You're wonderful.
I love y'all too.
All right, y'all. Till next week, right here on the Family Plot,
Keep reading.
Kingdom of the Cursed.
See y'all next week. Bye.
Hey.